do you prepare for your residency interview? This is a question I get all the time as a residency program director. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Omer Awan. I'm a physician, senior public health contributor for Forbes and MedPage Today columnist. I want to answer this question for all medical students and residency aspirants out there on how to prepare optimally so that you can ace your residency interview. And I'm going to give you 5 tips on what you should do so that you ace your residency interview. The first is exude positivity. There's so much about the interview where you're honestly, it's not even about what you say, it's your nonverbal cues. So things like smiling, being friendly, being receptive to the other person, showing enthusiasm, just being overall positive. That can have a huge effect on the interview, regardless of what you even say. A lot of the times when we evaluate interviews as program directors, we look at the overall effect of the interview and the feeling that we got. And the more positive you are, the better your score is going to be on the interview. The second is no common answers for many common questions that you're likely going to be asked. So obviously, you're likely going to be asked, tell me about yourself. And that's actually a harder question than you think to answer. And I have a whole video on that, so check that out on how to answer your question by tell me about yourself from a PD perspective. The other is, why do you choose your specific specialty? Make sure you have a decent, well thought out answer about that, because those are high yield questions that you're likely going to get, and you should know exactly the major points that you want to answer when you are asked that question. The other is, the third tip is, don't come with an agenda. And what I mean by that is, many people come in with ideas and thoughts that they definitely want to portray, and they want to fit in everything they want, to make sure they don't leave the interview without saying certain things. That's not the attitude you should have. You should just come in with the fact that you want to learn about the program, they want to learn about you, and go with the flow. It's more natural when you just let the interviewer lead the discussion, go with the flow, have a conversation, and leave it at that. When you go in with that sort of intention, it's just more natural and it flows much better. So please consider doing that. The fourth tip I want to talk about is that you want to be ready to ask specific questions. At the end of the interview, when the interviewer says, do you have any questions for me? That's not an invitation to stop the interview. That's an opportunity for you to ask pressing questions that you want to learn about your program, and an opportunity for you to show your interest and enthusiasm in the program. So you should have very specific questions like, for example, I noticed that the camaraderie here was excellent amongst the residents here. What wellness initiatives do you have? Do you prioritize to allow there to be excellent camaraderie and environment and culture in the program? That's one question. The other question you can have is, what specific professional development programs do you have in the program? I'm very interested in education. What opportunities are there to train formally in education? Are there opportunities to teach medical students as a resident? These are very specific questions that show your interest in the program, and hopefully it will lend its way for you to do well in the interview. And the fifth and final tip is practice, practice, practice. And what I mean by that is, there's no harm in actually doing a Zoom interview with yourself and just recording yourself and then playing it back and seeing how you did, how well you enunciated your words, how well you were able to answer certain questions, how well you were able to go with the flow in terms of your speed in speech. So these are things that you can do. You can also have a colleague of yours do a mock interview with you. Just practicing allows you to get the words out, allows you to get your answers out in a very non-judgmental way for you to benefit. There's also a very new cool resource that I just discovered. It's called medinterviews.ai. If you go to www.medinterviews.ai, you can actually practice virtually through AI. They'll be asking you questions and they'll give you really excellent feedback actually on the strengths and weaknesses of your application and your interview. And I actually tried it myself to see what it was all about, and it's actually very good. You can actually use this coupon. It's called MATCH, M-A-T-C-H. If you use it, you'll get a discount, and it's a very good way to prepare for interviews. So there you have it. These are 5 tips from a PD on how to prepare for interviews. Hope that was helpful to you. And as always, please be kind to yourself and to those around you.